Hit the bell, sub, and like if this makes sense. You buy into your SMMA program, you use all the right designs that they tell you that works for them, you use the softwares, you use the game plan, and nothing happens. Did you ever stop and think, maybe the equipment isn't what does it? So as I say in some of my shorts, if you're a pro hockey player and you give someone you're looking to help your equipment, you got the best stick, the best pads, you get the idea. Same thing in football. Well, does that make that person a superstar right away? No. Should they be discouraged if they're not as good as you? No. But what happens to a lot of people is they self-sabotage. They assume because they have that magic software, as I often say in my videos, in my shorts, because they have that template, that something's wrong if they're not getting the instant results that they want, what they perceive as greatness. And so what they do is they jump from shiny object to shiny object with their SMMA agency in tow, and they try to find the magic solution, when really it's never going to be the software. It's going to be you. The software is part of it, but it all starts with, as I again say in my shorts, you need to know how to qualify a buyer. There's two things I'm going to go over here: how to qualify a buyer and what to do, what the correct process is, so that you can take, most of you, because most of you have never made even 100 grand a year in profit, let alone a million or into the 8 figures like I have. Instead, you have good intentions, but you have a fragmented game plan. So what you want to do is, a buyer is a buyer. You cannot turn someone who's not a buyer into a buyer. But I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't turn these people. There's so many people that I came so close. That's part of it. But the rest of it is, you need to be able to identify who is a buyer, and then with the right closing techniques and the right offer, which I'll show you an example in a minute, you can then close them on your business and get them to your presentation. But if you try to pitch your value, your services to people that are not buyers, somebody who's not a buyer cannot be turned into a buyer. So first, you need to identify who a buyer is, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And then, number 2, you have to give them a value offer that gets a quick yes or a no within 30 seconds. Now, stay with me, because I know it sounds a bit unbelievable, but it's fact, and I'll prove it to you. And I want you to hit the bell, like, and sub if this all makes sense to you. So here's what you're going to do. When you get somebody on the phone and you're talking to the owner, you're going to say, John, hypothetically, if I could show you how to make an extra 10 grand a month in your business, is that worth 5 minutes of your time this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? And you're going to do this because, number 1, it creates a little bit of urgency and it puts value on your time. Number 2, you should be busy enough where you're not intermingling sales calls with opening calls and going back and forth. You want to have days where you're closing and days when you're opening it. So if you look at it and say, well, but you're not telling the truth. Yes, you are. And I'm going to get into that in another video that I'm going to make. So step 1, qualify the buyer. Now, if this person says anything else other than yes, sounds good, they're not a potential buyer. You could spend 10 hours chasing them, or you could say goodbye in 30 seconds. And I promise you, the one person a year that might buy is not how you want to run your business. You want to do what works most of the time. So what works most of the time, what makes full-time income, what gets people to hundreds of thousands and 8 figures and more in revenue, what makes millions of dollars, is knowing how to find and identify who a potential buyer is, and then giving them a value offer and booking an appointment. And you're going to say hypothetically, because you don't know how John runs his business. Maybe he is not very good at converting sales. So even if you run an ad campaign and generate leads, you get the idea, he has to take it home. So you always want to promise the value you can deliver, and you want to articulate things in an honest and honorable way so that people know you, trust you, like you, and then want to do business in the future because you were an invaluable resource to them. So again, hit the bell, like if you like the video, if it makes sense, and I will see you on the next one.